The southwest side, Pulaski is closed southbound at 57th and 59th. That's for investigation of an overnight crash. In Oak Park starting today, the intersection of Lake Street and Marion closes for construction. It's traffic. I'm Jed Davis on AM 560 The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. AM 560 Weather Center forecast. Pleasant day ahead. Clouds and sun and a high near 84. 69 at O'Hare. Next news at 7. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560 The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by In the Know with Wealth Management Group, hosted by Craig Bolanos. Heard Sunday mornings at 10.
Only the biggest stories, only the biggest guests, and only the biggest opinions. This is AM 560, The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. School districts in the private sector opening too. They're doing things a little bit differently than, say, CPS and some other public school districts are doing, including in Yorkville, where Parkview Academy is getting back to school, and they're not including a mask mandate for students and teachers.
Uh-oh.
That prompted a lawsuit from Governor Jelly Belly, as well as other the public health officials, just as named plaintiffs. In addition to Parkview, it also names the Board of Education of Downstate Hudsonville Community Unit School District 1 and Families of Faith Christian Academy in Shanahan. The letter from the state to the state from Parkview. Parkview cannot in good conscience give their legal and moral obligations to those they serve if they fully implement state guidance, and basically questioned there's no legal authority that is attached to the guidance. It's just that, guidance.
Well, in the lawsuit, they said the school's refusal to comply with the governor's executive orders and the guidance will cause immediate and irreparable harm, including by undermining plaintiff's ability to cohesively respond to
lawyers'
COVID-19
language.
pandemic.
Yeah. For more on this, we're pleased to be joined by Jed Davis, board president of Parkview Academy in Yorkville. Jed, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
So, why not just be neighborly and sporting and just comply with the governor's order and just put masks on everybody?
Yeah, it's a great question, Dan. But we really, first off, we're not anti-mask. We're not anti-face coverings. We're really pro-parent choice. And our parents are loud and clear on that front that we really want that decision to be in the hands of parents, which I think is where it rightfully belongs. So that is really how we put the state on notice. That document you referred to, 63 pages of guidelines, but they use words like must wear face coverings at all times. So we were kind of at a crossroads on that one, knowing what we were going to do as a school and then kind of what the state was mandating through that letter or through those guidance documents.
And at Parkview Christian Academy, how many students are enrolled at your school?
We're roughly 330.
And is it K through what?
We're actually pre-K through 12th grade. So we have, you've got 3-year-olds all the way through 17 to 18-year-olds under roof.
Hey, listen, Jed, and you country rubes out there in Yorkville, you have the governor talking. He is a man of science and data. He has said this is what the science and data says everybody should do. So, yeah, parental choice, this and that. You just comply. You just do what you're told.
Come on.
Why wouldn't you do what you're told?
That is really that science and data. I was talking with our attorney just about this last night. We hear that all the time from the governor's mouth.
Nauseating.
And if you really look at the data, we're about 115,000 people in Kendall County. We've tested over 15,000 people roughly have been tested, and only 1,125 of them have been positive. So you're looking, and unfortunately 21 people have passed. But at the end of the day, you're looking at less than 1% contracting COVID in Kendall County. and a death rate of 0.018. So even by the state's own definition in the Illinois Emergency Management Act, there is no public health emergency in Kendall County, which allows us, in our legal opinion, freedom to implement our own guidelines from a safety and health perspective.
Well, what are your guidelines going to be? Are you taking temperatures when they walk in? Are you, an option to wear a mask if some parent, maybe you have one parent out of the 330 students who wants their kid to wear a mask and they can wear it, right?
Yeah, oh, absolutely. Again, we're not anti-mask. So if parents want their children to wear them, that is fantastic. We will support that 100%. And we are implementing safety and health protocols from some acrylic barriers in classrooms to social distancing to temp checks or a self-certification upon entering the facility. Like, we're not just not doing anything. I know it's a double negative, but we are taking very good precautions as a school. Unfortunately, the Department of Public Health and ISB aren't aware of those because they never actually stopped to ask us what we're doing.
What about teachers there? It's one thing for parents, some recalcitrant parent who wants to be the nail that sticks out and it has to be hammered down by our fearless leaders and dear leaders, I should say. What about the teachers? There was an op-ed in the New York Times we mentioned earlier in the show over the weekend that suggests that teachers should not go back to school, and you shouldn't even ask teachers to go back to school because it's like not only potentially taking a bullet for her kids or his kids, but also bringing that bullet back home to their family.
Yeah, we've had some crazy messages come into the school, very similar from people outside of Parkview.
Mm-hmm.
But the people inside
who know better than you about what you should be doing in Parkview. Yes, okay, sorry.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. But our teachers overwhelmingly are supportive of our actions. They're really anxious to get back into the classroom. We had somebody even ask that question on Facebook the other day, trying to catch us per se, and a lot of teachers commented back saying, "We can't wait. We're looking forward to it." And we're back Monday through Friday full time. So we're back
full time.
Oh, I'm sick. No
What?
hybrid model. No day of cleaning, deep cleaning.
No, you're one of
learning.
There's one of these Brian Kemp types doing human experiments in school. That's what the full time. Perish the thought. How did that come about? Full time schooling. I guess parents want the education they're paying for. Is that maybe something to do with it?
Yeah, very accurate. We're not supported by any churches. We're not supported by outside organizations. We're supported by our families. So the sad thing is that this lawsuit is really Parkview by name, but it's an attack against the families and students of our school.
Yeah, because parents should govern their kids, not government.
And
what's the purpose
also,
of this?
one also thing, and it's also a message to every other private school in this state, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure. Trying to fall in line and do what you're told. So we're kind of at the tip of the spear on that one, but thankful to have the opportunity to really speak on behalf of schools, and even the larger question of, when is enough, and where do these mandates stop? Does the governor have the right to come into the halls of a private Christian school and say, really start mandating dress? And then beyond that, what's next? So there's a larger question at stake here than the debate around face coverings, for sure.
So what the purpose of their lawsuit is to make sure everybody wears a mask? Is that it?
Correct. Yeah, they're trying to have us abide by the guidelines that, again, in our opinion, aren't enforceable in the halls of schools.
And better that we shut you down over the issue of the, at least according to the science, relatively ineffectual masks, as particularly as it pertains to just putting any old face covering on, a surgical mask or a face covering, which do nothing, absolutely nothing. Not a scintilla of scientific evidence to support them. And I'm happy to go chapter and verse, but you probably already know it. Better to shut down the schools until we comply with COVID security transmission theater than to risk anything and allow children to be educated. Oh, by the way, except you're risking all the sorts of negative consequences from children not being in school. Yeah,
the governor's after us for a temporary restraining order. We have a hearing next Monday. on that very issue to try to kind of get us into compliance while this issue plays out in the courts.
And so, assuming he gets an injunction, I mean, are you guys going to go to the mat on this, or is sort of the overriding matter of importance get kids back in school? And if we get pushed around by the state, rather than interminable litigation, if we're not going to be able to start school, we'll comply so we can start school.
You know, we talked to all of our parents. There's really like 5 key things that they are looking for a return to school. One of them was the option of whether or not to wear a mask. So even if we lose and that is the reality, the other 4 still hold true. So we're very confident in that regard that our parents are dedicated to the mission and vision of Parkview. That being said, we are willing to push this to the furthest extent possible through our legal representation because, again, I think there's a larger picture at play. And regardless of the outcome of the TRO, which I pray goes in our favor, we will continue to push this forward through the courts and believe confidently in our position in that regard.
He is Jed Davis. He's the board president of Parkview Academy in Yorkville. Jed, thanks for joining us, and good luck with your legal fight with the state.
Yeah, thank you, Dan and Amy. Appreciate it.
Yeah, you're the best, and he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
Connect with Dan and Amy using the AM560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
The Lou Dobbs Financial Report is brought to you by Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Visit signaturebank.bank for your commercial banking needs.
I'm Keith Peters in for Lou Dobbs. New York City set to begin next phase of reopening today. A COVID-19 bonus is set to expire, and LL Bean finds some new marketing partners. Those stories next.
You've all probably heard of asbestos and know that it's dangerous. And you may also know exposure to asbestos is the only known cause of mesothelioma, a deadly cancer. People who were exposed to asbestos decades ago are being diagnosed to this day with mesothelioma. That's because it can take as many as 30 or even 50 years to develop. But did you also know there's money to pay victims of asbestos exposure from years ago? An estimated $30 billion available to help compensate victims and their families. If you or a member of your family have been diagnosed with mesothelioma, you may be able to receive some of this money without ever going to court or filing a lawsuit. Get a free legal review today. Call Sokolov Law at 800-910